Hey guys, welcome back to the channel Nate's Pink Bookshelf. My name is Nate Denise for those of you who are new or who just happen to stumble across this video. And as the title says, this is going to be my March TBR, which is pretty much Orilium themed. And so I'm going to be catching up on Scholar's Key as well as doing the Gear Up mini sort of, I think it's a week-long readathon that G has created. So if you want to see more information about the Gear Up sort of mini readathon, just quickly I had to go to G's video. It was amazing and I'm excited. I have all of my things printed out here so I can share with you guys. And so yeah, I need to catch up on Scholar's Key first and then do things for Gear Up, because with Scholar's Key you basically had from September of last year up until the end of March this year to get all of your things together for your character. And so I think I only have 3 more books to read for that. And then for Gear Up you only had to read 2 books, but I think I'm reading more than 2 books because I have I'll talk about it. And so let's talk about the Scholar's Key first, right? Scholar's Key. And if you guys see me looking down, it's because I'm looking at my tablet at my information that I have for the Scholar's Key. And so here's my Scholar's Key, right? And so my character's name is Illyria Nori Phoenix, right? She is a part of the House of the Arcane Guild, and her calling is an Archmage, right? And so she has a dual background, right? Dual background. And so I know you're like, a dual background. So her main background is urban, right? And so urban is basically a city or town because she is going to be living in Carador, right? And so I technically already fulfilled my prompt for urban, right? So urban was to read a book set in a city or town. And for that, I was supposed to read Blood Like Magic, but I forgot about that book, hadn't read that book, and then I read Bitter when it came out. And so I had to use Bitter. Actually, do I have Bitter right here? Yes, I have Bitter. And so I read Bitter. For that, I tapped up Bitter. This book was amazing. Stunning book. And so I read Bitter, set in a town, right? And so we have completed that. But like I said, my character is dual because she was born right in Ethereal, and then she moved to Carador, right? She moved to Carador at 6 years old, and so she has a dual background. So we already completed the urban. And so for wilding is to read a book largely set in a forest or outside. So for wilding, I have the Never Tilting World by Rin Chapeko. And so I need to read this book, okay? I need to read it, complete it. This is not a brand new read for me. I did originally start this book, as you can tell with the tabs. I originally started it, gave up, can't remember what chapter I gave up on, and I was enjoying it. This has LGBTQ rep in it, disability rep in it. I was enjoying it, definitely set outside and things like that. This is YA fantasy. So yeah, we have this, and I'm excited to dive back into this book. This says a demoness is what they call a goddess that men cannot control. And so it follows these 2 twin goddess sisters, and one rules in Aranth, which is a frozen city surrounded by a storm-wracked sea, and then her twin is in the Golden City, which is basically sandlocked with a lot of scorching sun. And so you see Aranth in the Golden City, and then they have the Abyss right here, and it is split because of their mothers. Their mothers did something. I'm not going to really talk about it. I know what happens because I read this already. And so yeah, I am excited to reread it and finish up on this, because I think the other book came out. I think there's a sequel to this if I'm not mistaken. So we have that book for wilding, right? Okay, and then that was the background. And so for province, you had to pick one of the 4, right? So you had Duran, you had Dark Meadow, you had Ethereal, and you had Carador. And so obviously my main one was Carador. I already completed that. It was basically to read a book from an ongoing series, and I read The Republic of Thieves by Scott Lynch because I know there are still books coming out in that series. And so that was completed. We read that already. And so for Ethereal, you have to read a book that features Fae or Elven characters. And so for that, I am going to go with Stormborn by Miss Rochelle Mead, excuse me, and she wrote The Vampire Academy. And so I'm excited to check out her adult urban paranormal romances, and to see how that works out. And so we have this one deals with spirits and fae and yeah, prophecy. I don't want to read too much into it. Oh, there's a seductive fairy king. All right, with a taste for bondage. Okay, and a gorgeous shapeshifter. Interesting. All right, so yeah, we're excited to read this and see what it's about. And I'm gonna dive into this. And so we have this. I will be reading on my TBR. And then the last prompt was heritage, and for heritage there is dwarf, earthling, elf, human, Eltirian, and Skymoran, I believe, yeah, 5. And so mine's is obviously going to be a halfie. She's going to be half breed. So her main one is Earthling, and for Earthling, you had to read a book that had a elemental magic in it or elemental word in the book or series title, which is air, water, fire, earth, and all that great stuff. And so I read The Fires of Vengeance. I forgot I read that book, and then went back to look and saw that I read the book, and so I completed Earthling, obviously, right? And so the other one is going to be Elf. And so for Elf, it is basically to read a book that has a moon or stars on the cover or title, and luckily House of Sky and Breath has a big old moon on it. So you have the moon here and on the spine and on the cover in the spine. So clearly we're going to put this down for that, right? And I'm excited for that book. And so right now we have 3 books, okay? We have The Never Closing World that I'll be reading for Wilding prompt. We have Stormborn, which I'll be reading for the Providence prompt, or Province prompt, excuse me. And then we have House of Sky and Breath for Heritage. And so those are 3 of the books that I'll be reading, okay? And that is from the Traveler's Key. And so with the Gear Up, which I'm super excited about because we're supposed to technically start Orilium in April, but G wasn't sure if she was going to be able to with everything going on. And so she did do some changes for that. And so we needed to pick a conduit as well as our guild legacy, and that's what the Gear Up is all about. It is a week long from March 14th to March 20th in which you are pretty much just picking 2 books to read, and it should be easy, right? But now I'm going to be reading 3 books because I am doing 3 different prompts. All right, so for conduit, she had this paper here which talks about all the conduits, and so depending on which guild you are a part of, there are particular conduits you have. And so because I am House of the Arcane, there are 2 that we automatically get. It is either the crystal or the orb, right? And so for that I picked crystal. And so the prompt for crystal was to read a book. I'm grabbing it. So crystal is to read a book with a crystal word in the title or series name, such as amethyst, obsidian. And so this one has took me for a doozy, right? Because I'm just like, crystals, okay, I can't think of anything. The only thing I thought of at the time was Jade City by Miss Fonda Lee. Fantasy, I really don't want to read this one right now because I really want to take my time and dive in. And so I did ask in a Discord if people had other recommendations, and so many recommendations. And so if by the time I get to this book I am not up for it, I will pick a different one for that prompt. But right now I have Jade City down for the crystal prompt, right? And so this would be my 4th book, okay? So that's 4 books on the TBR. So even though I have a crystal, there are other conduits that everyone is available to everyone. So you can have a feather, a spell book, a staff, a sword, or a wand. And at first I thought, oh, a crystal embedded in a spell book, cool. Then I thought, no, maybe a crystal embedded into a wand, maybe. But I kind of want my girl to be like a warrior, right? She's like a fire mage warrior, and so we're going with a sword. And so I have my crystal embedded inside of a sword, and so for sword you had to read a book with a blade on the cover. And so for that I kind of got 2 prompts. 2 books for that. The first is Priest of Bones. This is by Peter McLean, sorry, and it's the first book in the War for the Rose Throne. Yeah, War for the Rose Throne, excuse me. And all I know is that this is adult fantasy, and there's a priest, and yeah, it says you have army priest Thomas Piety. He heads home with Sergeant Bloody Ann at his side, but things change while he was away. Crime Empire has stolen the people of Ellenberg, which are his people. They have run out of food, hope, and a place to hide. Thomas sets out to reclaim what was his with the help from Anne, his brother Jocan, and his new gang. the pious men. And when he finds himself dragged into a web of political intrigue, once again, everything gets more complicated. As the pious men fight shadowy foreign infiltrators in the backstreet taverns, brothels, and gambling dens of Thomas's old life, it becomes clear the war is only just beginning. And so, yeah, this sounds really, really epic. Mark Lawrence did blurb it. I do like Mark Lawrence's writing. And so, yeah, it says a story of organized crime with the shades of The Godfather. So we have that book for Blade. That's one book I can do, but definitely on my list. And then we also have the Hawthorn Legacy, which it has like a really large blade here. And so we have that. But I also have this down for a second one. And so basically my conduit is a crystal within a sword. That's my conduit, right? What kind of crystal? I don't know yet. Still debating on that, but it's a crystal. And so for Guild Legacy, so House of Arcane, I have all my House of Arcane stuff stapled together. So there are a few legacies that we can choose. So there's the Locket of the Clear Mind, there is the Animated Broom, there is the Monocle of Vigilance, there is the Ring of Protection, and the Pocket Dimension. And so I was intrigued by 3 of these, right? The Pocket Dimension I thought of, it basically summons an interdimensional space pocket where you can put all your things in, which is great if you're traveling. And so for that one, excuse me, let me go back. So for Pocket Dimension, it was to read an ebook. And I thought, that'd be cool, but do I really want to do that? So I opted not to do that one. And then the other one was Ring of Protection, which basically it surrounds the wearer with a powerful protective shield for up to 10 minutes. And then once faded, the wearer can choose to stay invisible for another 20 minutes, right? And you only get 1 charge per day. So in total, you get about 30 minutes of protection once a day. And for that one, it was to read a middle grade book. And I thought, that's cool, but no. Then I read Monocle of Vigilance, and this one is what really got me because it is great for defensive as well as for attack magic, right? And so it says, when worn, one can spot traps, enemies, and dangerous auras easily. Prolonged use might adversely affect your vision, and thus the limit is 1 hour per day, right? And so 30 minutes of protection versus 1 hour a day of use. Why not, right? Why not? And it doesn't say how many times you can use it, right? So with the Ring of Protection, you can only charge it once per day, and the limit with the Monocle of Vigilance is an hour. So maybe I'm using it for 5 minutes here and 5 minutes here and 10 minutes. You know, we never know. We never know. And I thought of something cool in my head with it. So for that, it is to read a thriller or mystery book. And again, the Hawthorn Legacy is a thriller mystery, and so I definitely could go with this for that. So that's why I have it on there twice. But I also have Razorblade Tears by S.A. Cosby. I don't know, this just sounds really intriguing to me. You have this man, these 2 fathers, one is black, one is white, and their sons were in a relationship, a gay relationship, and they were both murdered, and the fathers are now looking to find out what happened and find the murderers and just go all ham on them. And that's what I've heard. It says a black father, a white father, 2 dead sons, a quest for revenge and redemption. So yeah, it says Ike Randolph has been out of jail for 15 years with not so much as a speeding ticket all that time, but a black man with cops at the door knows to be afraid. The last thing he expects is to hear that his son Isaiah has been murdered along with Isaiah's white husband Derek. Ike had never fully accepted his son, but is devastated by his loss. Derek's father, Buddy Lee, was almost as ashamed of Derek for being gay as Derek was ashamed of his father's criminal record. Buddy Lee still has contacts in the underworld, though he wants to know who killed his son. Ike and Buddy Lee, 2 ex-cons with little in common other than a criminal past and a love for their dead sons, band together in their desperate desire for revenge in their quest to do better for their sons in death than they did in life. These hardened men will confront their own prejudices about their sons and each other as they rain down vengeance upon those who hurt their boys. Provocative and fast-paced, Razorblade Tears is a story of bloody retribution, heartfelt change, and maybe even redemption. So yeah, I'm here for it. This sounds epic. I cannot wait to dive into this, and I probably want to read this book first, probably. But we have that. And so in total, I have about 6 books on my TBR for the Orilium. So I have the Scholar's Key, and so for Scholar's Key we have Stormborn, which I'm actually going to be listening to via audiobook first, so we're going to put that to the side. I have the Never Tilting World. Oh, I just hit my glasses. Never Tilting World. And then of course we have this beast of a beauty, House of Sky and Breath, which I think I need to read ASAP, so we have that. So that's 3 books already for Scholar's Key. And then for Gear Up, I have 4 books. I have 4 books for Gear Up, okay? So we have Jade City. Might swap this out for another book. If I do, you'll hear about it in my wrap-up. We have Priest of Bones. We have the Hawthorn Legacy. And we have Razor Blade Tears. And so, yeah, that is a total of, let's see, 7 books, actually. 7 books on my TBR, which I'm excited about. I am super excited for Orilium. And I hope that the readathon can start in April, but if it can't, I completely understand G's circumstances and stuff like that. So I am excited. So 7 books on that TBR. Plus, I'm also going to be reading 7 other books that are not going to be related to Orilium, and they're not even like secular books or Christian fiction books. And so I'll quickly just run through the other books on my TBR, right? So I have Egypt's Sisters by Angela Hunt, which is biblical fiction. This is book 1 in her Silent Year series. And then I also have book 3, which is Jerusalem's Queen. I had already originally read book 2, so I have book 1 and 3 on my list. I have The White City by Grace Hitchcock, which is actually historical romance. And this one actually is fiction based on true crime, which is the mysterious disappearances that happened during the Chicago World's Fair in 1893, which follows H.H. Holmes. Then I have a Christian fantasy, which is called The Shock of Night. It is fantasy, no more than that. And then I have 3 other books. Let me grab those. They're right here. I just had them tucked to the side. And these are nonfiction books. And so we have The Beauty and the Struggle, Finding Your Faith in Testing Times by Morgan Randall. We have Faith, From Almost Impossible to Hopeful by Everett Harper, which I actually know this author personally. She was my youth pastor when I was younger. And then I have The Ministry of Branding by Mike Martin, which is all about branding from a biblical standpoint. If you guys don't know, I am a Christian, and I am active within ministry. So yeah, I'll be reading that. And so I have a total of 14 books on my TBR. I might read some more books here and there if I can. For the month of February, I got back into my reading. It was 22 books. And yeah, I'm excited to see if I can read at least 15 books in March or not. But yeah, that is it for my TBR. I know I've been gone for a very long time, but that's because life has just been crazy. I'll do a sit down talk on what's really been going on. I think I mentioned in a previous video. I think I posted it, but I didn't. I recorded videos, but didn't really post a lot of them. So if I didn't, I'll just briefly tell you guys what happened. So basically, I had got out of a 9.5 year relationship, 8.5 year relationship with my son's father. We were together from 2012 up until last year, and I found out some stuff upon that breakup, which really just did not sit well with me, and it had me messed up because we were engaged to be married as well. And so being engaged to someone for almost 7 years, right? 7 years, and having a son with this person and spending time with this person only to be found out that I was lied to, right, for the past 2 years, and that he was already seeing someone else that was older than me. It was a lot. It was a lot going on mentally with me, and then a lot of other things transpired after that with me physically, with my body, migraines after my 30th birthday. Now I'm dealing with back pains, which is probably why, I don't know if you guys can tell I'm sitting a little weirdly, but yeah, back pains are crazy. I've had bruises all on my body, which I found out where they came from, and they pop up every now and then, but I've been working on that. And so it's just been crazy year for me last year, and this year started off crazy as well. I lost a few people that were very near and dear to my heart. And so yeah, my reading for last year was crap. I read a lot in January, February, and March of 2021. After April, I read barely anything, and then yeah, I was reading maybe 1 book here and there. Maybe took me 4 months to read 1 small book. It was crazy. And so for February to have read as many books as I did was amazing. I really enjoyed all the books that I read. I'm not sure if I'm gonna do a wrap up on that. I really don't feel like making a wrap up, and I've been recording videos all day today for this channel and my other channel. And so yeah, but I have more videos coming. I'm gonna be coming back. I have book tags that I want to do. I have challenges that I want to do. I definitely need to catch up on reviewing the A Chorus of Dragon series, because I think I did a review for books 1 and 2, The Ruin of King, and I can't remember the other one, The Name of All Things. I need to review The Memory of Souls, as well as The House of Always, and then A Discord of Gods is coming out. It's the final book. I'm hurt, but it's the final book coming out, and I'm so stoked for that. And yeah, I'm excited for the release of that book, and the cover is stunning. I do have an e-arc for that book coming, so I might do a reading blog for that, because I do now have a tablet, in which I can do reading vlogs with my NetGalley arcs. And so I'll show you guys my tablet here. It is not an iPad. I thought about getting the iPad, however, I would have to pay additional for the Apple Pencil, and I just wasn't with it. And so I'm an Android girl. Sorry for those who are diehard Apple people. I'm an Android girl, have always been an Android girl, have always been a Galaxy girl. I've had so many Galaxy tablets, I've had Galaxy phones. I still have a Galaxy phone. The thing I record on actually is my Galaxy Note 10 Plus. So she a Galaxy girl all the way. And so I saw that they had the Samsung Galaxy Tab S7 FE, which is basically the inexpensive version of the S7 Plus. And I got it added to my phone line, and it comes with a pen already. I don't have to worry about buying an additional pen. I was gonna get the Apple the iPad Air. They have it. I was gonna get a rose gold, but then the Apple Pencil was like $100. No, just no. This is why I'm an Android girl all the way, Windows girl. You will never catch me with an Apple anything. Apple anything is a no-go for me. My mom actually has an Apple iPhone, and she doesn't even use it. Like, I think it's the newest iPhone. She doesn't use it. Like, we have it because it's added to our phone line and it's paid for. But she doesn't even use it. So what's the point, right? What's the point? And so yeah, I have been loving this. It is amazing. I'm getting into digital note-taking and digital planning and things like that. And so right now I'm looking at my reading tracker that is on, what is it on? Notion. So I'm on Notion right now looking at everything. And so yeah, I gotta finish setting up my Notion for spring, because I'm in spring mindset already. I already changed most of the images to spring, but I need to change font colors and stuff as well. Actually, I can change this right now. Let's change that to pink. Boop, there we go. Yeah, but it's been really fun playing with this tablet and stuff. And so yep, that's it. So I'm gonna go, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. If you made it to the end of this video, thank you guys for that. Leave this emoji in the comment section below. And like I said, it's been a minute since I recorded. I need to go through my bookshelves. I did clean two big bags of books off my shelf, which is great. And so yeah, I have 14 books for the month in total to read. Possibly gonna try to squeeze in a few more books, but yeah, I'll probably try to throw in a middle grade novel. Which middle grade, I don't know. This is my middle grade shelf up here. So I have middle grade books there. I have one middle grade right there as well. So we'll figure it out. We'll figure out what I'm gonna read, if I can, or I'll probably just read some e-arcs from NetGalley, because my NetGalley ratio is terrible. And it's not that I haven't read a lot of them. I have read a lot of them. I just haven't posted reviews for them. So yeah, we have to do that. But yeah, I'm gonna go. Again, thank you guys for watching, rating, commenting, subscribing, all that great stuff. Thank you for subscribing to my channel. Again, to those who have been subscribing, I really appreciate it. But yeah, if you want a review of any particular books, let me know. If you want to see any type of content, let me know. And yeah, I'm gonna be doing reading vlogs on this channel soon, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.